But now to much more important issues. It is our series on the PNG province of East New Britain, and it's a part of the world that has close ties to Australia's military history.
As Mike Dalton reports, the island is where Australian troops first made contact with the enemy in both World Wars I and II.
Contrary to belief, it was on this beach in East New Britain, and not Gallipoli, where Australia first joined World War I. 37 days after Britain declared war on Germany, an Australian expeditionary force of 25 soldiers landed here at a beach called Cabacau in order to take a German wireless station about 10 kilometres away. They did so at a cost of 6 Australian lives, the first Australian lives lost in the First World War. The German troops surrendered a few days later, and the territory eventually claimed as an Australian mandate. The waters around the island also hold another secret from those times. Australia's first submarine, the AE-1, disappeared at sea near Rabaul shortly after the Australian invasion, with the loss of its 35 men on board. Its sister ship, the AE-2, lies off the coast of Gallipoli. The search for the AE-1 continues today. This rusting Japanese hulk signposts the next violent chapter in our war history, which began here on the 23rd of January 1942. A Japanese assault force of between 15 and 20,000 men attacked Rabaul. These are a few photos that remain. Here, Japanese troops watch as Rabaul burns. Australian troops from the 2nd 22nd Battalion, known as Lark Force, and numbering less than 1,500, were quickly overwhelmed. The order soon given, every man for himself. Only hours after the Japanese invasion, scattered groups of the 2nd 22nd were to meet here at the Four Ways, a local intersection now about an hour's drive from Rabaul. About 250 went that way, heading north to eventual rescue. Another 250 went that way, heading south, and their fate was to be far darker. The groups continued to splinter through the thick jungle, disease and hunger claiming many, until some arrived at a beach and what they thought was surrender. Between 120 and 160 Australians, the figure is still not known, were captured here by the Japanese at Toll Plantation. They had their identities ripped from them and their hands bound behind their backs before they were taken in groups of 10 to this point here, where they were bayoneted or shot. 6 men would survive. The Japanese airfield constructed after the massacre remains there today. The fate of those who survived surrender was just as horrendous. More than 1,000 servicemen and civilians would drown at sea after their prison ship, the Montevideo Maru, was sunk off the Philippines en route to Japan. The 2nd 22nd Battalion would never fight again.
Yeah, amazing report there from Mike Dalton. It is important to remember all that, I think.
It certainly is.
Yeah, and a couple of great books around, including Pete Fitzsimons' book, Coda, out there in relation to PNG and the fierce fighting that went on there. All right, coming up after the break.